So to start again, now the concept here is basically that we all want to learn both phaco and SICS. The idea is neither we are propagating that SICS is better nor we are saying phaco. If you want to be a good cataract surgeon, you've got to learn every technique available in the world to handle every case individually. So what most of the things are common amongst all these surgeries, SICS and phaco. That is, we all want a safe and a stable incision which is astigmatically neutral, easy to make and manipulate it, and we have minimal struggle while nucleus delivery so that we don't harm the ocular structures, and preferably it's supposed to be a self-sealing incision. So to start with incisions, they can be either scleral incisions or they can be corneal incisions. Dr. Howard Fine had further classified corneal incisions, scleral corneal, limbal corneal and scleral corneal. The scleral tunnel incision is primarily used for SICS, that is the manual phaco, and the corneal incisions are being used for phacoemulsification. Now let us see what incisions we have in our armamentarium and which we should not be using in certain conditions. By and large, we know when we are making a scleral incision, the sclera has to be healthy. So whenever we have a condition like this, on the left side you see this picture. If you have a scleral thinning and you have this patient I operated, in fact she had a secondary glaucoma also. We implanted an AGV with a cataract extraction was done. And you can see there was no place where I could have made a scleral tunnel. So I went for a clear corneal incision in this patient. Now this is a patient with a filtering bleb. This is not an absolute contraindication for SICS. You can change your site, which I will be showing you later. But the best is that if you go for a corneal incision, then you are not going to disturb the conjunctiva or the bleb. So here again a scleral incision is not the first choice. Then patients with blood dysplasias and on anticoagulants where you expect a lot of bleeding there also. Then patients where you have a lot of cicatrization like Stevens-Johnson or pemphigoid. Now this is another patient which I had. In fact, surprisingly, I did phaco in one eye and SICS in the other eye. And you can see this sclerosing keratitis. It was in fact not a right decision to do a phaco with a corneal incision, because I did have problems in making my the tunnel, the triplanar tunnel. I was scared, but thankfully nothing went wrong. It was like a gutter being cut. So this patient, the other eye, I opted for a SICS. This is a radial keratotomy patient. Here again, we have to be very careful. If you want to go for corneal incision, you make your incisions here in between so that you don't cut through these cuts. And of course, patients with marginal degenerations where your cornea is not healthy, then you go for scleral incisions. Now, the concept of the incisional funnel, we all know that incisional funnel is basically an imaginary area which is bound by two curvilinear lines, and any incision within it is going to be astigmatically neutral. So it very much goes that if you go nearer the limbus, you are going to induce more astigmatism. So if you want an incision which is nearer the limbus or clear corneal, it has to be smaller and squarer in shape. Whereas if you want to go for a little larger incision, you have to move away from your limbus, and it has to be a frown shape. If you make it straight, then it goes out of these lines. So if you make it frown, you can even extend backwards and still have induced less astigmatism. Now the corneal incisions, the recent reports have started coming that these patients are predisposed to endophthalmitis. So what people are now shifting towards is that they will either put one suture, or this is something which is being started, liquid ocular bandager and OcuSeal, where they say that if you use this, the wound edge closure is better and there is reduced surgically induced astigmatism, that is with the wound drag would be less, and also there is diminished foreign body sensation. So I don't think all of us are using it as of now, but this is what is being advocated. Now this is an incision for a scleral, for a SICS, and let us study what the parts of the wound is. We have an external incision, we have an internal incision, and we have these side pockets. So this external incision is basically not very large, it has to fall within the incisional funnel. The internal incision is a little larger. You can see it's almost from limbus to limbus, so it's a funnel-shaped geometry. And these side pockets are extremely important to engage the bulk of the nucleus where it comes into the tunnel. So if you are using a technique of SICS where the entire nucleus is brought out of the bag into the chamber and out, like the Blumenthal technique or microvectors technique or fish hook technique, you need these side pockets, otherwise the nucleus is not going to engage. But if you are going for a technique where you are going to break the nucleus into parts within the chamber, then these side pockets are not mandatory. So this is the difference. The other thing, these backward extensions, as I was telling you, if we need to enlarge, then your frown has to be, these backward extensions are going to fall within the incisional funnel. So the chances of inducing astigmatism would be less. Now, as far as phacoemulsive, okay, let's run the video first. Okay, so now the anesthesia part, if you start, you need to do it in the perivalvular, but over the time, this surgery is being done under topical anesthesia. What I usually use is a 2% xylocaine jelly. You put it beforehand and it's very comfortable. The only thing that you will observe is that even while I am making the incision or dissecting the tunnel, this is the tunnel being dissected, I am not holding the conjunctiva with a forceps. So if you want to stabilize the gove, you can see, you can use a swab stick, and you can construct your wound very comfortably and complete your surgery in the topical anesthesia. Now this is the side port creation. Important thing is when you create the side port, keep it absolutely parallel to the iris plane. If you tilt it, your incisions are not going to be good. This is the NDA chamber maintainer for the Blumenthal technique which has been put. Now once the tunnel is dissected, this is in the pre-dissected plane, you enter with the keratome and you cut while you move forwards and not backwards. And see, this is the tilt of the knife along the contour, which is to create the side pockets. Now, look at this incision. This is again the same type of incision, but if your plane is not correct, if you tilt the knife incorrectly, then you can have a premature entry. See, this is what happens. You can see the sudden collapse of the chamber. This is a premature entry which has already occurred. Suppose you have a premature entry at this stage, you should stop trying to dissect the tunnel. First you do your capsulorhexis, stay in the capsule, complete your capsulorhexis, and then once you are done with your capsulorhexis, inject a viscoelastic through the side port, and then you start dissecting your tunnel and completing it. Now at this stage you have to be careful that you choose the correct plane. Where the premature entry is, just leave that area. Where the plane is correct, you start dissecting from that particular end. So that is how you can complete your tunnel. And after that, the other problem which occurs is in the premature entry, since your valvular incision is not good, the pressure doesn't build up. So see, I have used a viscoelastic through the anterior chamber maintainer to deliver this nucleus out. Now this is another incision. Again, there was problem in the tunnel making, and just fast forward a little. Again, there was an iris prolapse. So what I wanted to show in this video, see, while the nucleus is being delivered, there is a continuous problem. The nucleus is not coming out. So you can see the iris is trying to bulge through the section. So what has happened is, on one side there has been an improper construction of the wound, and what I am doing you should not do. This is what I am trying to show you, because the more you are going to do this, the more your iris is going to get damaged. If you have such a situation, just stop everything. Stop the NDA chamber maintainer, put in viscoelastic, deposit the iris back. You can either use a lens glide, or you can use or sometimes even a microvectors helps in these cases, because it just takes the nucleus out without. This is another patient where the superficial wound has been made and a buttonholing has occurred, and you can see at the top there is a continuity between all the superior part. You can see the visco is being coming through this. The pressure is not building up. So if you have a improper dissection right at the beginning, stop there, change your plane, don't let this condition arise, because after this wound really becomes very haggard, and you should not be creating that situation. So a little about the phaco incisions. Okay, now the other thing is the site of the incision. Most of us usually go for the site where you have a more astigmatism. That is, you make your tunnel where there is more astigmatism. If it is more than one diaper, you change the. Of course, the toric IOLs are the lead of the hour, and but in the initial stages, you can go in and till at least 2 diapers you can correct by modulating your wound. Now, usually what we do is that after making 2 side ports is I stabilize the chamber, stabilize the globe with the side port instrument, and I enter. This is basically a corneal incision. And if you go for a phaco profile lens like this patient, it is better that you go for a limbal and not clear corneal, because your incision is going to be a little larger, and you should dissect a little tunnel so that subsequently the valve doesn't get spoiled. Although again, as I say, as you get more experience, you stop using Stressless knife altogether. And what is important is when you enter, your entry of the keratome should not be completed at one go. You have to match it with your phaco tip.